たいなもう黒んぽのガキがこんなとこにいるなんてもう目障りなんだよ。それ本当にそう言った。本当に本当に。
One thing I will say is that I don't believe Japan to be a racist country. I just believe Japan to be a country that doesn't know much about other ethnicities considered. こんにちは、皆さん。Kyo desu. So today I'm going to be reacting to a video by the YouTube channel Market the Capo. And this video is about growing up half black in Japan. Basically interviewing a guy named Joe who's a half black, half Japanese person, or hafu. Of course, some of you guys know that my stance on race is that I do believe racism exists, but I do believe a lot of it is over-exaggerated just for grievances' sake. And one thing I don't like is that whenever we think of racism, especially in the West, it's always centered towards black people. We never talk about racism with, people who are white or Latino or Middle Eastern or whatever. So, to me, I do feel the way for people to excel is not by grievances, it's by being excellent in anything you do, getting the respect that comes with being excellent, and not by trying to seek empathy or pity from other people. But that's just me. But anyway, we'll see this guy's story. So without further ado, ikimashou.
Hey everybody, Max here again, and today I have a very special guest with me. This is another Meet a Happy video for a half hour. This is my friend Joe.
Hi everyone, my name is Joe Oliver. I'm 33 years old. I'm half American, half Japanese. でも、日本でしか育ったので、アメリカでは、育ったことありません。
His story is very different from a lot of other people. I really think it's worth everyone's time here to hear his story.
なんかこんな感じなんだね。いやなんかすごいテレビの中とか YouTube の中だとサウンドがすごいあったりとかするから、でももし賑やかかと思ったけど意外と
いやでも静かじゃないと何も聞かない
ね。そうだよね。
もうちょっとそのバックグラウンドを教えてほしいんだけど、
My father is African American, my mom Japanese. Yeah, they met in Japan, in Tokyo. I born and raised in Yokosuka City, down to south from Tokyo, just 1 hour. My father used to be Navy, US Navy. He worked for Navy base.
So did you have a lot of other international people around you growing up, or
No. No.
You were the only.
I was the only one. Me and my mom couldn't live in Tokyo. My mom's from Tokyo. She wants to live with her parents because my parents divorced already. Yeah. So she needs help from her parents, but my grandparents doesn't want to marry with American, especially African.
Was it any foreigner in general?
I think they don't like all the foreigner, but especially without Caucasians. I think European とか白人だったらなんかいいけどみたいな。
いいけど like
what's it's really terrible.
So your dad, he went back to the US, right? He didn't really contact your mom anymore.
Just a few times maybe.
Letters.
Yeah.
What was it like going to school and things like that?
The first time I had the bullying from racism when I was 7 years old, first grade, I didn't understand why they tried to attack me.
When you're saying attacking, but to be very specific, people would like just punch you or randomly, right? Or kick
all
you.
the time.
Just walking home from school or walking to school.
Both. And in the school.
And were these other kids or the adults or?
Both. In the school, kid. Out of the school, adult. I was so scared, especially adult.
Right, because I can understand, kids are gonna be jerks, but a grown adult, you're just walking home from school, right?
Yeah.
And then a grown man comes up to you and he would say something because he knows you're black, right?
Yeah. N-word. In Japanese, kurumbo. Get out of my town. お前みたいなもう黒んぽのガキがこんなとこにいるなんてもう目障りなんだよ。
それ本当にそう言った。
本当に。いやもう多すぎて。Every day, every single day. I don't want to get that. But もうハビットみたいな感じだったよね。
なんか you just got used to it.
Yeah,
You just
more
kind of
company.
accepted like
Yeah.
this. And there's no, I mean, you had your mom only to support.
Yeah, she tried to support me, but she was just a woman. She couldn't protect all my things. She tried to become father because she raised me only herself. She's single mother, but she couldn't. But she loves me.
I just think now there's a lot of other Hafu black people in Japan, and there's so much support now. I think a lot of people really think, half people in general are cool.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah, fancy. And some of them, I don't know if they have the same very bad experience that you did. It's important to note that sometimes this does happen. I when you were telling me, I just couldn't believe it.
Especially you already are adult. When you get, if you got, those kind of situation as an adult, that's too hard. I was kid. That's why I couldn't get over. Kid is very strong more than adult.
You think so?
I think so.
I would have been broken. Going on, how long did that continue? You said from 7 years old, almost every
I fixed that I had racism in my local. I fixed them when I was 18 years old. I fixed all my problem. I fixed. Actually, I didn't have a friend until high school.
Yeah.
I didn't have any friend.
That was just because in Yokosuka, everyone was just very racist, I guess.
Basically, because the town is Navy town.
Yeah.
So that's why they feel about American people as the bad people.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Is there anything you want to say about middle school?
Middle school was the same kind of elementary. Same people go to middle school.
This from
Elementary school.
and
So that's why
elementary school.
never changed. We choose the high school. The high school is not same town. The other place.
Oh, just
I changed the place.
I see.
So I found new people in my class. So they are so nice.
Everyone's Japanese, right?
Japanese, but they were in struggle. Their family situation. They don't have racism. They don't have bullying. But one of my friends, his family has a lot of 借金.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like 2億円とか。
マジで
そう、借金家族とか。
Struggle 同士の。
そう。
Everyone who
Struggle friendship.
Struggle friendships.
Yeah.
But so that was like 16, kind of. Like,
Yeah, 16 is the start.
16.
First grade in high school. In high school was good, but out of high school, never changed.
Like the city.
Yeah, in the city, the same city.
Your mom tried to help you become like a model, right?
Yeah, she took picture. How many times? Maybe 1,000 times, 2,000 times.
You?
Yeah. For send my picture to the agency. She helped me. She supported me to become model.
How did things change once you?
The first of all, when I walk in the street, the people look at me. People say, "Oh, you were in the magazine." I said, "Well, we saw it." Everybody wants to share about me, about my information, my motoring work. Everybody wants to share because they treat me like hero. I don't want to say it like that, but slave become hero. I feel like I'm not slave, but
It's kind of like that gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like that. Everything just kind of changed. Not what is it? Everything? What do you think?
I think almost everything. But at the time, my mom passed away.
Yeah, that's actually a big thing to notice. Like you said, she was working really hard.
Yep, all day long.
When she passed away.
When I was 17, before I become model.
Oh, before you got these jobs.
Yeah.
She passed away.
Yeah, もうほんとすぐ at the time she was a patient. Then, she passed away. Just 1 month. I know she has sick, but she didn't tell me all the things. I didn't know she has cancer. I didn't know that. But doctor already tells her どれだけ生きられるか. So just she left legacy.
Right. Well, I mean,
kind of. She
she
lived.
took 2,000 pictures of you.
Yeah.
Really worked hard.
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of what led to your, we didn't talk about it fully, but your revenge story.
Oh,
I guess,
yeah, well, I will talk about revenge story. My best friend, he made me plan to revenge.
Oh, so this is like
That's the
plan.
Very interesting video. I do have a few comments on it. First thing I would say, it's always horrible when a child grows up in a dysfunctional family or a single parent, more than often a single mother household. It's terrible because the child has a lot more disadvantages compared to other households that have two parents in them. One thing I will say is that I don't believe Japan to be a racist country. I just believe Japan to be a country that doesn't know much about other ethnicities, considering the culture, the history. Japan was isolated from the world for over 250 years, and there's not much big enough of a foreigner population, like say in America, where we are considered the melting pot, where you can get more exposure to different groups of people. And in the beginning of this video, when he was describing his experiences, I'm like, I'm not gonna say he's lying. I'm not gonna say that because, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of times where Hafus or foreigners have faced discrimination. But what got to me, what made me be like, oh, okay, was when he said he lived in a Navy town, meaning a military kind of town. And one thing I know that a lot of bases in American bases in Asia do have a bad reputation for the soldiers not acting correct. Like in Korea, I know there's a military base and there's like bad stigmas about that, in Japan as well. So I'd imagine the people who live around that military base probably don't like the US, or they don't like foreigners or whatsoever. So that's probably why he got a lot of those negative comments about, being a black person or just being a foreigner, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the Japanese that live in that area tend to be that way. And every town has a certain culture. I'm pretty sure any Japanese watching this video, people from Osaka act different from people in Hokkaido, people in Hokkaido act different from people in Tokyo act different from people in Nagoya. Like every town and every city has a different culture, different kind of people, different kind of mindset. So because he lived in this specific town that was around a military or Navy base, there's gonna be a certain mindset around that town, which is probably why he grew up in that environment. And I always say 80% of a country can be completely awesome, but if one person lives in 20%, that 20% that's horrible, and that all they experience is that bad 20%, their perception of the country they live in is going to be horrible. So even though 80% of the country, hypothetically speaking for this example, is great, because most of your experiences come from that 20% that's bad, that's going to speak louder to you than the actual truth that overall Japan is pretty much a safe country overall. And that I think that Japan isn't necessarily racist. I just think that they may be a little bit ignorant to some things, but I don't think most of it's not malice intent. But considering where he comes from or where he lives, that makes sense. With the comment about his parents not, approving the marriage, I mean, that's a common thing you hear, is that, when it comes to foreigners, they don't mind whites as much, but they may not like black people. One thing I will say in my experience, and what other Japanese have told me, is that when I went to Japan, a lot of the black Americans that I saw were at nightclubs or in, strip clubs, nightclubs, or in the red light district in Shinjuku or Shibuya when I was in Tokyo. I mainly saw more Hakujin in like the suburbs. Like when I went to Okayama, I saw a lot more Hakujin. When I went to Osaka, I saw Hakujin. All I saw, the black people I saw for the most part were in Tokyo in the nightlife, with a lot of drinking, clubbing, all that kind of stuff. And blacks do have a reputation for being players, for being cheaters, for sleeping around with a lot of people. And I remember a few Japanese told me about that, and even one person messaged me saying that her boyfriend cheated on her, who was a black Jamaican or black person. And there's a stereotype that black men are not good people to start families with. If there's anything to say about it in America, I would say that this stereotype is, it is true. I always say judge the person by individual, but there's large amounts of evidence that this is true, and I've heard a lot about this from Japanese people and in my own personal experience. So in my mind, I always say the group ethnic image of that group is very important, because when people think of white or Asian, typically in the West, as far as my Western thinking, they think safety, they think happy families, they think money, security, nice house, maybe a dog. When they think of black people, they think of a struggle. They think of they live in the poorest part of the town. They're drug dealers. They're this pimps or players or whatever. So I believe the ethnic image of blacks are horrible right now because of the behaviors of a lot of blacks that we portray ourselves to be. So if I'm given the benefit of the doubt, I believe that's the reason why her parents probably didn't like him, because they're like, oh my God, she's marrying this black guy. Not because necessarily maybe because of his race, but more because of behaviors and the lifestyles associated with that group of people. And as you can see, he left the family. He went back to America and he barely talked to his mother. So already, if the parents are racist, I don't know. Actually racist, I don't know. But overall, it seems like just because of that example, the parents were right, because he eventually did leave her to raise a kid by her own. I would say his experiences make sense where he grew up, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's a reflection of Japan as a country as a whole. And I think that because of the actions of his dad, he grew up without a father, and eventually his mom passed him, which is very sad. His grandparents were pretty much right in saying, like, don't be with this black guy, because he eventually left the family. For what reasons, I don't know, but the fact is he wasn't there. But that's my thoughts. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys like the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Also check out my second channel, Life of Brooklyn Tokyo. Subscribe to that channel as well. Arigatou gozaimasu. Minna, 気をつけて。じゃあね。